better than thou, and they always do. We'll give you some, and go back there, and order them down. But see, these children ain't good. When the police commissioner and the mayor in New York said, look, let's give it a couple of days, the police officer was killed. And look, let me tell you something. And murder is wrong. I don't give a damn who do it. Murder is not right.
That's right. That's right.
Murder isn't right.
No, it's not.
But sometime, because it's not right when they kill us. And I really, that whole thing don't sit right with me of how that went down. And what I'm talking about is, how did this black man in Washington, y'all, how many seen a Manchurian candidate? Where they program people to do what they want at a certain time. How do you shoot a sister in Washington? And police brutality is heavy down there. They killing people down there. You pass by Washington, I pass Washington. Baltimore, oh my God. Oh my God. It's like killing every day in Washington with police.
Oh, wow.
You go up to Delaware. I mean, you just keep going up. How do you wind up in New York and you wind up killing 2 people of color? An Asian and a Hispanic. How do you do that? Why do you do that?
Right.
I'm saying I got questions about it.
Right.
And then kill yourself. I remember seeing the flash of the sister saying her brother had problems. And he was going back and forth and being dealt with those problems. With who? It wasn't with Dr. Ali. It wasn't with Dick Gregory. It was with the people who set forth to kill us. 911.
Yep.
An example. The bombing of Japan is another example. Government conspiracies. And I'm just putting that out there. And I don't know what went on, but I have a different thought than what the newspaper tells me.
We know.
They put something in your mind, and we say it as if we know.
Yep, that's right.
Anything that these people put out there, you better question it. You better question it. To kill us. When I say their own, I'm talking about Kennedy. I'm talking about Robert. I'm talking about all those people, who are not black, who is not people of color, that went down in that building, them towers, 911. They did it for the economics. We should be. I'm saying their way of doing things is not our way. They did because of economics. They did it for the economics of Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, So we tell their damn story. Their story. And then we hail the people because of color. We hail the people that commit the murders. I'm going to say something. Some people will clap, and some people will say, Obama was not the black hope.
No. It was not.
Everything. Gaddafi.
Yes.
Gaddafi.
When I seen how they murdered that brother,
Huh?
who was building they didn't have to deal with them with their money. He was getting ready to set Africa free. They did it with Tommy and Nkrumah. They did it with Patrice Lumumba. They do it, and they do it, and they do it, and then these words, these people, the example that they set to fight. We're here because, let me tell you one thing, we fight the hell back. Okay. They dropped a bomb on us in 1978. They boast of, the book is there, 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Cops said when he heard the babies crying in the basement, that's where the sharpshooter shot him. Every last group member came out alive. The cops were shot by their guns. The bullets. The bullets. James Ram, the only one that they talk about. There was a lot of cops shot that day. But it was clear that Move couldn't do it. Move was 6 foot underground in a basement with cops with guns trained at the windows. The huge hoses that was taking pieces of the building apart. Cops, it's on film where the cops came into the house and dressed for war. We had a civil disagreement with them. And you ain't coming in our damn house. You have no reason to come in our house. This was part of the urban removal thing.
Urban removal.
This is part of urban removal. What they're doing, not only in the United States, but I've been in Athens. Same story. Paris, same story. Puerto Rico, same story. And they try to, they do their best. Mexico, and all through Africa, and the divisions that they put upon us. We have Africans here, we have Puerto Ricans here, we have Mexicans here, and we all got the same problem with this thing here.
Yes.
This monarchy. When we talking about uniting, if you're not talking about uniting all of us of color who's going up against these people, this corporate America, you ain't talking about fighting. Okay? You ain't talking about fighting until all of us come together. And we have got to come together under here because we got to learn who we are. Who we are. I thank Dr. Karenga for the 7 principles that bring us all together. Unity. We got to have that. But we don't have, we need it with other people who are fighting within this system, fighting this system. When one person have a problem, but they teach us, they separate us so that we don't come together and fight. But they're not separate. They got a whole lot of problems. But when it comes to fighting us, they have no problem. Every ethnic group, every races will come together and come together. So we divide ourselves off. This brother here with the gun club, I don't know how many members you have, but you should be having so many daggone members but I bet you it's not a huge amount. Did you see the story where the young white couple took their daughter to the shooting range?
Oh, yes.
Oh, she shot,
She
killed
took
him?
and blew the dude's head off.
Sure.
What are you doing teaching this baby?
Right.
This. Who are you teaching it for? This ain't a rabbit hunting gun. Do you remember when the levee was blown up? And blacks was coming across, and they was shooting them down like rabbits?
Wow.
We had no guns, and the guns we had was no match for that. And they sell our children guns, and I'd like to know, where the hell was them damn guns that day? Where the hell was them automatic guns that we shooting each other down with? I'm saying, you was the right to have it, but damn it, you better correct your target. Gang war with the motherfucking rules, excuse me. Gang war with those that are gang warriors. Gang war with the person that's telling your brother that, he's walking down the street and, get up against the wall. What's in your pockets? And, or you sitting on your steps and, I'm not seeing this. Brother sitting on the steps, on their steps drinking beer. And a young white cop from some other neighborhood come down into the community and tell them to go in the house with them. We as neighbors in our blocks need to ride. They don't do that, in my block. My son will tell you when they were selling drugs in our block, I was in France, I came back. I noticed my neighbors across the street is no longer sitting outside. They always, first thing in the morning, they get up, they had their little coffee there, and, they're not there. And my house, I had a picture of me on the outside. And, people was coming up to my door and, asking something, no, they don't live here. you know, and then I'm sitting on my porch and I'm watching cabs come up. I'm watching all kinds of Cadillac cars and cars, you know, whatever, come up. And, you know, going into the house next to me, and on the other side, not the one right next to me, but on the other side. And then I noticed the people next to me isn't outside anymore. So I talked to the brother one day, and I said, you know, what's going on? Because I travel a lot, right? And he said, you know, you got a crack house right over here. And, you know, and ain't nothing we can do about it. I said, what have you tried to do? Well, we called the police. And they ain't gonna help you do that. They ain't gonna help you. You gotta take it into your own hands. You gotta be the one to go over there. And so, excuse me. My name is Pam Allen. And I tell you what I found out, that on the man's porch next door to me, they killed the guy. Across the street, while the neighbors don't sit there anymore because there have been shootouts in the street. There was a shootout in the alley. I had 2 daughters that lived there, you know, live in that block. And I'd be damned if I'm going to sit by and let some owner, and you know, who don't know what to do with his life. There's all kinds of ways of dealing and raising money. And when I see sisters coming up there one time, you know, with a car, and then the next time you see her coming up, she looking raggedy and shaggy, and she don't have a car, and you know, when people are knocking on my door, and I'm saying, oh, hold up a minute, is this a damn setup? Because they know who I am. They know that this is a move house here, this is Mumia picture here. They're taking pictures. They're taking pictures of my house. They got taking pictures of people with drugs. One thing Wilson Good said after he dropped the bomb, a few years later, Edwin Delvin said, we are under 24-hour, 7-day-a-week surveillance. So I'm saying, how is it that it's a drug house right here? How is it that they come and knocking on my door? And my sister said she stand back. You know, when she had knocked on the door, she stand back. And you know, who is it? Oh, hell no. Oh, no. Your home is your sanctuary. Your home is your sanctuary. And so when I knock on the door and I'm talking with the brother, he said, hey, Sister Pam, how you doing? I'm not doing good at all. And you know, you got to go. You know, we go back and forth. He said, well, what, you know, what we do, we'll cut it down. No, you got to go. You know, we go back and forth. I put my bullhorn on my back, strap it up there, you know, I'm ready. And taking it out, who they are, what they doing, blah, blah, blah. You got to unite. You know, but it wasn't happening. Because people have a fear of these people. I fear the fact that they live. I got a hell of a toothache too. I fear that these people are living right here next to me. I fear that the cops who's watching this could be setting me and my children up. I fear this. So you gotta act. So okay, you wanna act like the police? I got on the bullhorn, put out a lot of information, and I said, you know, now the neighbors, I told them a lot of neighbors have been down to the police department. I called on my brothers and sisters who are known members of the BLA and different other people to come down to my community. I got a problem here. And they cooled down for a while, then they sent the cops in, and as the cops was coming in, only because we were taking it in our hand and it was getting a lot of, not news media exposure. No news media exposure. And we didn't need news media exposure. And, but the neighbors was beginning to come out their house. They got backbone. They got nerve because somebody stood up to them. And, you know, so when they taking the dudes out, this was a dress rehearsal to make it look good. One dude told me, he said, keep it going, we'll be back. I said, what's going on? He'll be back. Sure enough, they never broke down, you know, broke things down. And we had people coming to that block and we closed the block off. And next thing you know, they came there and they boarded that house up. You know, and it was an example for the people in the community. Together, we can fight.
Together. Cooperative economics. Cooperative economics.
Mumia is off a death row today because we could not accept these people. You know, a lot of people died along the way. I'm talking about, you know, so-called natural causes who was fighting for Maria's life. And, you know, Mooney is off of death row, and we're fighting to get him. But, you know, this government said in the FOP and, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and down in County, and then, you know, the FOP foods on parade, and, you know, all of them, they say, oh, we want to kill him. I mean, they boasted it all over. They had old silly Howard Stern on the radio talking about all the stuff that Mumia did, and blah, blah, and he's going to be executed. They brought Maureen Faulkner, that's his wife. She wasn't involved in anything because we were tangling with them. And it was us against the police. And, you know, we were winning. So they bring in the white woman with the blonde hair and all these stories. She says, I'm fighting this. They got, you know, people, and they boast of millions for Mumia. And it's me and my fight for my husband. They killed him. And, you know, so they got all these people all rabid and all. They want to save this white woman. And from these people. We got them duped in Germany. We got them duped in France. We got them duped in Africa. We got them duped in the Japanese diet, which is equal to Congress here. We got, you know, Kwame Nkrumah children came here. And Frederick Douglass great-grandchildren came here to fight as well. And collective, you know, unity and money, we fought. We fought them suckers and we won. We won.